Chapter 16. The Era of Forced Assimilation and the Boarding School Legacy. The Shift in Strategy, from Segregation to Assimilation. The history of U.S. policy toward Native Americans is a story of shifting boundaries. In the early 19th century, the goal was segregation, physically moving tribes like the Cherokee along the Trail of Tears to keep them separate from white settlers. However, as the ideology of manifest destiny pushed the frontier to the Pacific, there was no longer a somewhere else to send them. The government turned to a new, more insidious strategy: forced assimilation. The logic was that if Native Americans could be stripped of their culture, language, and communal land ownership, the Indian problem would vanish. This culminated in the 1887 Dawes Act, which broke up tribal lands into individual private plots, and the establishment of a boarding school system designed to re-educate the next generation. Kill the Indian, save the man. The flagship of this movement was the Carlisle Indian Industrial School, founded in 1879 by Captain Richard Henry Pratt. His philosophy was summarized in a chilling directive: kill the Indian, save the man. Pratt believed that by completely isolating children from their tribes, he could erase their indigenous identity and replace it with Western values. The transformation was immediate and total. Upon arrival, children were stripped of their traditional clothing and forced into military uniforms. Their long hair, a symbol of spiritual strength, was shorn. They were forbidden from speaking their native tongues, and their traditional names were replaced with Christian ones. Of the 10,000 students who passed through Carlisle, only 158 ever officially graduated, highlighting the immense physical and emotional toll of the system. Success and the identity crisis. Despite the cruelty of the system, several individuals emerged as icons of resilience. Luther Standing Bear was a model pupil who became a bridge between two worlds. He led the school band across the Brooklyn Bridge during its dedication and later became a prominent author and actor, fighting for the accurate portrayal of Native people in Hollywood. Then there was Jim Thorpe, widely considered the greatest athlete of the 20th century. A student at Carlisle, Thorpe dominated every sport he touched. In 1912, he led the Carlisle football team to a historic victory over West Point, a game where the future President Dwight D. Eisenhower played against him. Thorpe went on to win 2 Olympic gold medals, though he was later stripped of them in a controversy over his amateur status, only to have them restored posthumously in 1983. The bison, a surrogate for genocide. The assimilation policy went hand in hand with an ecological war. To the Plains Indians, the bison was the lifeline that provided food, clothing, and shelter. The U.S. government realized that by destroying the bison, they could destroy the Indian. From an estimated 40 million animals, the bison population was driven to near extinction through state-sponsored slaughter. Travelers on hunting trains would shoot bison from windows for sport, leaving the carcasses to rot. This calculated campaign was designed to force tribes off their hunting grounds and onto reservations. As the saying of the era went, kill a buffalo, and you killed 10 Indians. The unintended consequence: pan-Indianism. The ultimate irony of the boarding school system was its failure to achieve total erasure. Instead of disappearing into white society, many graduates used their Western education to fight for indigenous rights. Because Carlisle brought together children from 140 different tribes, it inadvertently fostered a pan-Indian national consciousness. In 1911, the first national intertribal organization was formed by these very intellectuals. Rather than being absorbed, they learned to navigate the white world to protect their own, laying the groundwork for the modern movement for indigenous sovereignty. Today, the legacy of Carlisle is viewed as a site of spiritual genocide, but also as the forge where a new, unified Native resistance was born.